All right, guys, welcome back. 1776 or bust. On the table, you see this little gem of a firearm, which is the Archon Type B. That's right. Sounds like a really cool name. It was supposed to be the Strike Type B, but they had some lawsuit issues. So as a result, they had to change the name and go with this Archon Type B. Again, you can see the slide is that bronzish slash FDE slide color. And I mean, anytime you get a chance to buy FDE, go for it. Just get it because it's super cool. I like them. And that's why I picked this guy up. But this is an interesting gun. I mean, that's, this is the initial impression video. So if you're looking for shooting footage of me, running through a forest and rolling out of helicopters, it's not going to happen. This is just the initial video, guys. This is just me giving you my input and what I'm seeing out of the box for the first time, even though I've had it for a while. I haven't done any videos on it. But overall, so far, this gun is pretty interesting. It is obviously a very unique firearm, to say the least. A lot of differences versus some other firearms out there. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about really quick is the barrel. Now, you'll notice, and I'll kind of get another gun out here so you can see the difference here. But here's my Glock 45, which I haven't done anything on either. But you're going to notice that Glock 45 has that tilt in the front of the barrel. Very, very common for every modern handgun as it is right now, unless it's a rotating barrel or something like this, which is your Archon Type B. You're going to notice that that barrel is flat. And the reason being is there's a lug in here that actually keeps the barrel going. Instead of tilting up, it actually just pushes back and forth. So it's kind of unique. It keeps it on the same plane, and that apparently will attribute to more accuracy because of less upward movement from the firearm, which is kind of cool, and it's kind of interesting. So I can't wait to test that out to see if that's true. But again, I'm no marksman, so it might be true for someone else. But anyway, let's move on. So one of the things you're also going to see in regards to the slide is that there is a little bit of a cut right here. Again, if you are a press checking master, you can just kind of bury your hand in there to get a good press check. Again, it may be for press checking. It may just be aesthetics. I think it's probably for both, but obviously it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely a unique gun. If I was going to say, what does this gun remind me of most? It is definitely the RoboCop gun. For those of you who have ever seen the movie RoboCop, and if you haven't, you should check it out, at least the first one. And this gun resembles RoboCop's pistol, in my opinion, but that's for another day. Everything about this gun is kind of unique in regards to the use of it. So you're going to see that the texturing on the slide here, or excuse me, the lower, is kind of unique as well. Now, I would say this really reminds me mostly of a P10C. Now, obviously not as I guess you can say flamboyant with the texturing, but definitely similar to it, but not exactly the same for a lot of different reasons. One reason being the fact that you can see as I turn this in the light, you can almost see that these whatever you want to call these nubs are angled in different directions. And again, that's to lock your hand in, which I think is going to be kind of unique and interesting. Do I like it? I think it's pretty neat. Do I hate it? I don't hate it. I'm kind of neutral with the way it looks. Now, how does it feel? Because who cares how it looks? It feels pretty damn good. It does bite down into the hand, at least before you shoot it. Is it going to cause you an extreme amount of pain? It shouldn't, because if it does, you may want to stop shooting guns. But what I'm going to tell you is that what I'm seeing from here is that this gun should go nowhere once you start shooting it. You're getting a really good grip on it. It bites and locks down into your hand, and that's pretty awesome. Now, the other thing that people have been talking about is this little thing right here. This supposedly pushes down in the nerve in your hand, which allows your hand to become super powerful and squeeze your gun more than any other gun. Now, whether or not that's true, I think that's a bit hokey. I think that's a bit stupid. And maybe it is true. I don't know, but I'm going to find out here very soon. Do I think it's going to cause discomfort? Am I going to say, oh, this hurts my hand? Probably not. But at the same time, do I think it's functional? We're going to see. I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not it's functional and if it's real or if it's just kind of, hype. You'll notice the beaver tail, the extended beaver tail, thank God they put it there, because this thing rides so low in your hand. That's going to lead to a bad day if this slide rides on that hand fat, because that's not going to be very, very nice. But you'll notice that even with my hand all the way to the top, this slide isn't even coming close to touching my hand, which is pretty cool. Again, that beaver tail does extend quite a bit past my hand, so I can't see any issues with that. You're also going to notice the slide. Slide rides extremely low in the hand. I would say the only gun that I've ever seen that rides as low as this, and I won't even say that because it's not as low as this, but definitely the Steyrs ride super low in your hand. And this thing, just ridiculous. This thing is like almost on the same plane of my fingers. So I think that's going to be pretty sweet. Now, the trigger. The trigger I'm kind of iffy on. The initial impression of this trigger is that it's not bad. It's not great. I'm not sure I like the way this trigger kind of moves. It articulates like almost like a hinge. And you guys know I hate those hinge triggers, but at the same time, it's almost like the safety. So it actuates right about there, and then you can pull the trigger, you feel the wall, and then the trigger breaks. So, I mean, the trigger feels pretty darn good. The reset is fairly short. There's a little bit of a sponginess after you break reset, but it could just be me not controlling the trigger good enough. Right there is your reset, just a little bit more over travel there, and then it breaks. But I mean, the trigger feels pretty nice. And I've got to say, I'm looking forward to shooting this to see how fast this trigger goes in my hand. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be a solid trigger, a solid performer. Now, the takedown on this thing, I was thinking about doing it, but I figured I didn't want to spend 22 minutes doing it. So I'm just going to kind of explain the process of how I've done it. So one of the things I don't like about this is the takedown. The reason being is this pin right here, or right there, you've got to push out and then extend out to the other side. Once it comes out to the other side, you basically just have to drop your slide, and then you do have to pull the trigger. At least that's what I found. If you guys know differently, please let me know. Pull the trigger, and then the slide comes off. And, it's okay. It's not bad. I just wish you didn't have to use a tool for this. Now, over time, it might get a little bit more, I guess you get smoother to release it, but right now it's kind of tight in there, and I'm not a fan of that feature. But that's just my 2 cents. Everybody's always talked about the mag release too. Oh, what happens if you put your magazine in? Whoops, wrong magazine. You put your magazine in the wrong way. Well, then guess what? It pops out this mag release. Mag release goes flying, and then you're in trouble. But you know what? Honestly, guys, you really shouldn't be putting your magazines the wrong way. But it's kind of unique in the fact that all you need to do is put that magazine in, the spring gets released, and then you can drop it in, turn it to the other side. And it's pretty neat. I mean, that's a kind of a neat feature. Probably the easiest mag release change that I've ever had to do in regards to changing it from left to right. But I don't have to do that, but I wanted to test it, and it is pretty darn easy to do. Mag release is just ridiculous. I mean, this has got to be the best mag release I've ever seen on any handgun known to mankind at this point. And the reason why I say that is because this thing doesn't just push your magazine out, it literally throws it in your face. So it's pretty, it is a pretty sweet mag release. It definitely would be pretty easy for a mag release, a quick mag dump, and then just switching out your mag there. So I definitely think that's pretty cool. I mean, overall, the ergonomics, man, feels good in the hand, guys. What can I say? Next. So overall, what are my opinions? Now, albeit this is a fine gun, it definitely looks nice. It definitely fits basically all of the components that are out there for good, solid handguns. The question is going to be, does it justify the price? Over my initial impressions, 4 magazines, kind of that steel chassis in there, the low cut slide, it's just everything that you'd want in a firearm out of the box. So do I think it's worth the price? Well, right now, as my initial impression, yeah, I do. And I hope I don't get disappointed by that. Also, in regards to size, I was a little concerned that this was going to be too big of a handgun to really want to carry often. But I have to say that it is not as big as I thought it would be. It really reminds me a lot of kind of a hybrid, almost like a Steyr L9 with a little bit longer of a grip. And one of the things that I would definitely say is that it is not a Glock 19 size, but it's not a Glock 17 size. So just to let you know, this is a Glock 45. If you line up the slide to slide, you're going to notice, and let me see where my magazine is so you guys can see that. There's the magazine inside the Glock. And what you're going to notice is that the Glock 45 extends just a little bit longer than the actual Archon Type B. Now, is it by, a football field length? Absolutely not. It's really, really, I would say, very bare. And really the only thing that's extending past it is the magazine plate for the mag inside the Glock. So other than that, the gun is almost the same size. The barrel here in the slide is about 4.29 inches long, so it's a little bit longer than a Glock 17. But I'd say overall it is kind of more in the Glock 17-ish phase of size. Well bigger, much bigger than a 19. There's no doubt about it because, the 19, as you know, 4-inch slide, so you're getting a little bit longer slide, a little bit longer grip, but just not as long as a 17. So it's kind of like that in-betweenish size, which is kind of good in my opinion. So overall, do I like this gun? Well, I think it's apparent that I do. And the reason being is because it comes with a lot of cool features, 4 magazines, this unique type of texturing on the side, quick mag release, which again, I just can't believe how this thing spits it out. And just a very unique design with a low slide cut, very good trigger out of the box. So the initial impression, guys, is a very positive one. So I can't wait to shoot it. I can't wait to share what those results will be, but I get a feeling it's going to be a fun day at the range with this bad boy. Now, if I can just conserve some ammo with the ammo shortage that's going on right now, that would be great because I have some other guns I got to shoot as well. But overall, very impressed. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say and leave those comments down below. What are your thoughts on this Archon here? Is it worth it? Do you think it's actually worth the price? Or is it something that you're going to pass on? To me, it's kind of unique, and it is definitely going to be a keeper for me just because it's hard to find. You can't find these often anymore for a fair, good price, especially right now in the way the market has been dictating price. But leave those comments down below. Thanks, guys, for watching, and, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a thumbs up if you care to. And till we meet again, next video. As always, everyone, stay safe, have a good night, and freedom is never free.